Well, hello YouTube, and we got another Crossing Blades, and it's been a little while since I've done a Crossing Blades, and I am excited to do a Crossing Blades. Now, if you're in the market and you're looking at a new knife, or maybe you're looking at your first knife, and you're like, man, I have, give or take, roughly around that $50 price point, to me, it's kind of amazing to see how the $50 price point has changed because I did a video crossing blades not too long ago. Actually, maybe it was about a year or so ago. And the price budget was around that $50. And I had a Civivi Elementum in there. I had the CGRB Felspar. I had the Rat Ontario, or Ontario Rat, sorry, and the QSP Penguin, and the CJRB and the Elementum surprised me with. I mean, well, I know the Elementum's really good, but the CJRB surprised me in that video with how good it was. The Rat was just a solid knife, but the handle was weird on it, which is something I will. I'm not just going to leave that as it is. And the QSP was nice, but it wasn't anything that blew me away. But a lot of the times in that $50 price point, you're going to go with a Chinese knife. Now, what do we have here? Well, we have the Miguron what's it called? The Mayora, something like that. Mayoro. I cannot pronounce it. I apologize, Miguron. I mean, I'm not endorsed by Miguron, so it is what it is. You basically have a roughly 3.5-inch blade, 14C 28N. So I made sure both were 14C 28N because I wanted to be apples to apples. Funny story. I am actually more of a non-coated blade guy. I tend to like how it goes through things better without the coating, but the version of so originally the version of this knife that the place had in stock was a coated blade with black micarta, and so I got the Miguron to match it because I wanted to do a coating with the coating and stuff like that. I know this has G10, but the original one of this actually had a lot of issues, but I will get into that, and that's actually not. I don't think it's. I'm not blaming Vosteed when I talk about those issues. Okay, so there's originally this was supposed to be a black micarta with a black blade, but we're gonna excuse that for right now. So they're both 14C 28N. This has a nice hole in it instead of having thumb studs, which is kind of nice because one, you could do all the fancy tricks with it. Also, when you're cutting, you don't have anything in your cutting path, which is nice. So that is what it is. This is obviously G10 with steel liners, a G10 backspacer. Apparently, this is a titanium pocket clip, which is actually really cool. I also like the little accent of blue around there, which kind of, it matches pretty nicely with the pocket clip. The G10 is grippy. It's got texture to it. It doesn't feel as grippy as that TRM I reviewed, but it's definitely grippy. Centering's on point. It is not a thick bladed knife, but it is a thick knife, and I'll get into that in a bit. What do we have over here? We have the Vosteed Raccoon. This obviously is in a button lock, where this was in a liner lock. You have thumb studs, but the thumb studs are actually very much out of the way of the cutting edge, so you don't have to worry about that. We do have a sheep's foot, or I guess they call us a sheep's foot, or it's not really that much of a, it's not a Warncliffe. I guess a cleaver blade, I think they might call it. It is a button lock, which I'm going to get into the button lock thing in a minute. This one does include the G10 scales. Now, this does have steel liners, but they're nestled into the G10. Still includes the 14C 28N blade. Both blades are around the same thickness. This does not come with a titanium pocket clip, but this one comes with a deep carry pocket clip that is recessed. The pocket clip is reversible, as same thing with this. Pocket clip's reversible. Let's get into what the crossing blades is about. The crossing blades is that you have X amount of money. You're looking at these two knives. You don't know which one to buy. You don't know which one you want to spend your money on, and you're kind of going back and forth. And you're like, man, oh man, these both are cool knives. They both have great reviews. Some people love them. Some people do this. You hear this about this. You hear this about that. I'm here to try to help you decide between the two knives. Okay. Let's talk about the similarities, because that'll be easier. Both are obviously G10 in this situation. They're both G10. They're both on steel liners. The Miguron has full entire steel liners that the G10 is sitting on top of, where the Vosteed is the liners are nestled in the actual G10. Thickness of the two knives, as you could tell, sitting on top, I'm trying to get them matched up, sitting on top of the full steel liners does make a thickness difference. I know it doesn't really seem like it on camera, but there is a pretty good thickness difference. If I try to line them up there, you see how the thickness difference? Okay. Other similarities, both are 14C 28N, so obviously they're going to have really great, they're decent edge retention, not the best out on the market, but because they are such a hard steel, a toughness, it's such a tough steel, I believe that helps with the edge retention. Really easy to sharpen, really nice with stainlessness. What other, they're both made in China, obviously. Miguron, I'm not sure who exactly makes Miguron. I know Vosteed, I believe, was it through Kaiser? I can't remember if they said it was through Kaiser, KSP, or QSP. But now they're supposed to be all made in-house. But they're both made in China, I believe. I haven't really found too much of a difference on where they're made. They both have ambidextrous qualities, because you can put the pocket clip on either side. And that's where the similarities basically end. So the difference is the Miguron obviously has the hole instead of thumb studs. The hand, it's a little bit larger of a knife. I definitely say scale for scale wise, it's about the same. The scale length. But they fit different in the hand, okay? The Miguron, I have extra large hands. As you could tell, the way it fits in my hand, I wrap around, and then I could also choke up if I need to. This reminds me of a more more Spyderco friendly. In my opinion, the Native 5 is the most friendly looking Spyderco, but you could see similarities where it's like, okay, you got this little front choil thing, you got this little hump right here, and then you got this back swedge. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by it. Kind of reminds me of a Spyderco without being a Spyderco, which is kind of nice. You got the liner lock, which some people love or hate. I have no problem with liner locks. I like them. All they do get your finger in the path. This includes ball bearings. I believe they both include ball bearings. The Miguron, It is, like I said, a little bit larger of a knife, but the way it fits in your hand actually fits quite comfortably, right or lefted. You can choke up on it. You can pinch grip on it. And it is wider in the hand as well. The pocket clip actually feels really nice. I actually really like these style pocket clips because they're very low profile, but they get the job done. In the pocket, obviously you got that much hanging out of your pocket. Love it or hate it. You can pinch it nicely when you take it out. And let's talk about the differences with the Vosteed. The Vosteed, obviously, they offer this in two. So with the Miguron, they have different styles, but it's pretty much this. This is really it. The Vosteed, you can get a button lock, or you can get the crossbar lock style, which is like on a Benchmade, or other crossbar lock type knives. You can get either this cleaver type, or you can get a drop point type. So the drop point type obviously being similar to this. That's for beginners. That's not for just somebody who wants to buy a knife. That's for beginners to know. D10 seems a little light, but it's not the end of the world. There's this whole thing going around now where people talk about, oh, is the button lock gonna... Oop, I hit the other knife by accident. Button lock's not gonna fail on this one. I've seen some people where they failed. The button lock's great on this one. Now, the reason why I talked about this knife being technically a second one is because the first one I got, which I don't believe was Vosteed's fault, was technically an open box, and I don't think the company may have looked at it well enough, because it was loaded with issues. But I'm not holding that against Vosteed at all, because this one is perfect functionality and how it works. What's nice about the button lock is that your fingers stay out of the way. This does include thumb studs, and I've talked about thumb studs in the past, and these thumb studs are a little big, but it's not that much worse. Like the QSP ones that I've mentioned in the past on past videos, the thumb studs like come out way out to here. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's not that, but you know what I mean? Like, the thumb studs come out and they're over the grip. I mean, if you look at this straight on, the thumb studs don't protrude past the grips, so you don't have to worry about that. You could easily manipulate it, no problem. In the hand, so this is where the differences obviously come in. Even though I talked about the low profile pocket clip on this one still doesn't create any hot spots. It easily fits in the hand, but your hand is definitely a little more squished together. I hate using the word squished, but it's more together. As you can see with this one, my hand is not, it's a little more relaxed, but like I said, I have an extra large hand. Obviously, you got the front choil on this one. This one, you can use that front choil if you need to, but you are feeling the sharpness of the blade back there. You're not really feeling the sharpness here unless you really choke up. But it's not the end of the world if you have to do that. So in the hand, it still is very comfortable. There's no doubt about it. Still very, comfortable. It's just, if I have to give one thing to the Miguron, in a way, I feel like this is a little more comfortable in the hand as far as ergonomics wise, but it's not the end of the world. I like the fact that you not only can get different colors, different styles, satin blades, non-satin blades. You can get drop points, you can get a drop point blade or a cleaver style blade. And I like the fact that you can get two kind of locks. So if you're like, man, I really want to try a button lock, you can get one of these in a button lock and it feels really good, or you could get one in a crossbar lock. Both locks are finger safe versus the liner lock where your finger does kind of get in the way, see? But with this choil being so big, it doesn't hit, which is nice. Really, it's a hard thing to debate between the two knives. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I like honestly, the Vosteed's really nice. It feels really good. It doesn't feel inexpensive at all, which is nice. It does feel like it's a little bit above its weight class, except for the pocket clip. The pocket clip feels a little, I mean, it's got still great retention, but it's got this it's got a little bit of a less desirable feel, but it's still better than some of the Civivi pocket clips, honestly. The Miguron, I mean, that titanium pocket clip is absolutely amazing. It doesn't feel inexpensive in the hand, but it definitely feels kind of clunkier in the hand. Especially if you're used to, say, something like a Benchmade bug out. I mean, I'm just showing you the bug out versus the Miguron. I mean, look at the size difference between the two. Something like the Wii Sakashi. The Wii, I guess, is similar. It's hard to say. My Spyderco, feel like would be the closest thickness to it, but I don't know. No, it's not. The Miguron's nice, but it definitely kind of feels clunky in the hand. It's comfortable in the hand. I definitely feel like this is a little bit better if you have larger hands, especially if you have hands that are bigger than mine, which like I said, I have extra large hands. They're not tiny by any means. This feels a little more comfortable in the hand, but it's not the end of the world. This still feels great in the hand. I still choke up on it, no problem. You are getting a little less knife blade in this. I believe this is around a 3.2 inch, around 3.3, 3.2, 3.3. So this is supposed to be around the 3.5. But cutting edge wise, I mean, they're so darn close. I almost feel like the blade is longer because of this right here. That's honestly where the blade length comes in difference, because actually it almost looks like you're getting more cutting edge on the Vosteed. I'll compare the Vosteed to the bug out so you can kind of get an idea. You know, it's still thicker, but it's not as thick as that. The Native 5, it's very similar to the Native 5. That we about the same as the Wii. So this is crossing blades with the Miguron and the Vosteed. If you're a lefty, I would definitely recommend the Vosteed because you can change the clip around and you can activate the the lock with your pointer finger. So you could still do that. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either knife. There's a lot of things I like about both. Did I do a thing with the... No, I didn't. I did not. I did it with the Miguron, but I did not do it with the Vosteed. Unless I did, I just don't remember. So you have that, about that much sticking out. It happens. Okay. Well, knife for knife, I think either way you go, you're going to get a great knife. I like that you get a little more options with this. I like that you can do the button lock or the crossbar lock. I like that you got different blade styles with this. I do like the deep carry pocket clip. I don't like too much of a knife hanging out of my pocket. I don't mind it, but, sometimes it can be a little bit much. This doesn't feel as clunky as the Miguron, but the Miguron is solid. It's very comfortable in the hand. You do have the liner lock, but I mean, it's very comfortable in the hand. The upside, you got the titanium pocket clip. And if you don't like thumb studs and you like this thumb hole, there's that. Yeah. Let me know which one you guys like. Let me know if you have either one of them. Let me know what you guys feel like. Take care, guys. This has been Crossing Blades. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys.